My twins are going to be 9 years old in a few weeks, in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, oh my gosh, time has flown. And I started thinking if there were toddlers again, for sure there are things that I would have done differently, especially considering that one of them is autistic and has ADHD. And at the time, I didn't know, but now I do because he's diagnosed now. He got diagnosed this year. This year, he got diagnosed, and I got diagnosed with autism and ADHD last year. So there are a few things that for sure I would have done differently, and I'm going to share them with you today. Not just based on my experience, but based on the hundreds and hundreds of parents I work with every single day because I'm a certified parenting coach. And my job, my full time job, my career is helping parents break free from frustration, bring peace to their parenting, and raise their children with peace. So, number one, I would stop drowning in catastrophizing thoughts. I remember when they were toddlers, I used to see them maybe fight over a toy. There was one of them that was more of a leader, more of a energetic one, and the other one was a little bit more, careful and shy. And he used to take his time to do things. And I remember seeing my energetic one overpowering the other and thinking like, oh my gosh, if I don't nip this in the bud, he's going to grow up to be the one who's going to step over people and who's going to lower my older son's confidence, and my older son is going to grow up feeling like a doormat and not having a good self-esteem. I was catastrophizing, according to cognitive behavior therapy, is a thinking error. And a thinking error is a false evidence appearing real. Like we take something, we assume, we take a particularity and then we expand it and assume it's going to endure and it's going to get worse. When in reality, what I was just seeing was toddlers exploring as toddlers. One of them was more energetic, so he was exploring the environment in his energetic way, and the other one wasn't. And because they were toddlers, they did not have emotional management skills, so it made sense for toddlers that one of them was going to be more overpowering than the other. Now they're 9 years old. And are their temperaments the same? Yes. They have the same temperament, but they have developed skills. They are in a different developmental stage. Their empathy has grown. So I don't see my energetic son overstepping or overpowering the other. Not at least most of the time. Sometimes yes, but not is not an everyday thing. And it's because as they grew up, I developed those skills for them to communicate to one another and to see each other's needs and to help one another. So if you are doing a good job equipping your children with those skills, there is no reason why this scary thought that they're going to end up being like this when they're 19, that they're going to hit when they're 19, that they're going to bite when they're 19, that they're going to break things when they're 19. There is a reason that that's going to happen, because now it makes sense considering they're little toddlers. But when they're 19, if you're doing a good job, they're going to have more skills. Doesn't this take a weight off your shoulder? If it does, give me a thumbs up and say in the comments, I feel a lot lighter. Say in the comments. Now, what happens is that I remember catastrophizing, and that catastrophizing, those catastrophizing thoughts a lot of the times produce a lot of anxiety in me. Anxiety to fix it, anxiety to stop it, anxiety to cut it out. And that rushed energy and anxiety to cut it out many times led me to be reactive and to parent my children from that fear and reactivity instead of understanding and peace. And I found myself sometimes yelling at my kids and snapping at them and doing that I don't agree with, because I didn't want to raise my children with yelling and snapping and them feeling scared of me. I wanted to raise them differently. I wanted to raise them connected to me, for them to trust me with their things, and for them to love each other. I did it. And I feel very proud of it. But when they were toddlers, I did not have that skill. I did not have those skills. I wish I had the same skills I have now to manage my emotions, show up in a secure way to them, and guide them instead of overpowering them, which was the very same thing I didn't want them to do, and that's what I was doing anyway. If you want to have a step by step guide, the step by step guide that I wish I would have had before during that time, I have it for you. I created a free class where I share with you my parenting with understanding system of needs to break free from reactivity so you can raise your children with peace. You can find this free class right now. You can access it right now if you want it. It's in hicparenting.com. The link is up here, somewhere in a card up here, or it's in the description below. If you open the description box, the link is there, is the first link that you find, or you can go directly to my website, hicparenting.com. hicparenting.com is somewhere over here. And in that class, you are going to learn how to be a secure parent so you can show up for your kids with what they need at that moment so you can raise them with presence and not fear. Number two, don't compare their development. I used to do that a lot, especially because I didn't know my child was autistic, but for sure I knew he was different. They're twins. It's so hard to not compare twins because they were born at the same time, they look alike. So you're like, how come my other son is not sitting up? How come my other son is not talking yet? How come my other son is still wearing diapers? And just for the disclaimer, the one who got potty trained the fastest was my autistic son. The one who was in diaper for a long time was the other one, the non-autistic one, which was like yeah, unexpected. But I was comparing them a lot. But then wait. Do you do the same? Do you compare your kids a lot? If you have twins or if you have kids different ages, do you compare them a lot? I'm looking at you. I know you're there. Do you compare your kids a lot? If you do, there is no shame in it. Let me know in the comments if you do compare them. But the thing with comparison is that it wraps us from trying to fully understand each one of our children based on who they are and not based on what we want them to be, who we want them to be, or who we want them to be like. It's sad if our children end up feeling that we want them to be like their brother or sister. I felt that growing up. I felt that my parents wanted me to be like my cousin who was this and was that. Like I was loud and I talked. My voice was high pitch, and then they wanted me to talk very soft and gentle, and then have this. I don't know how to have this tone of voice. That's how my cousin thought it talked. I was different. I I use my hands. I use my body. I I raise my voice. That's me. What if my parents would have raised me for who I am? What about if your parents would have raised you for who you are without comparing you to anyone? If I could change something from when my children were toddlers, I would change that. It would have saved me so much sadness or confusion comparing my two sons. Number three, I'll be observing them and follow them more than trying to follow a book. I was a parenting book junkie. At the time, their Instagram was not like in full force, nor YouTube, but I remember going to the library and renting books, and I used to devour books and try to apply to the T. And the book said, instead of saying this, said that, and then I was not genuinely connecting with my toddlers. And they were reading through those lines. They sense my fakeness of trying to say the right thing, of trying to sound how an influencer I admired sounded, which it wasn't me. And what I was getting from them was more frustration, more tantrums, more disconnection. Now I do things completely different. I use my authenticity, my own voice, and my judgment to guide me on what to say to my kids. And it works so well, especially with my autistic one that vibes with me. He vibes more with how I feel and how I connect with him than the things that I tell him. So if you have an autistic child, if you do, let me know in the comments or give me a thumbs up if we're on the same boat. Autism parents, they vibe with us more on how they feel with us than even the things we tell them, especially if you have nonverbal autistic. I say from experience because my brother is nonverbal autistic and he vibes so much on how he feels more than what we tell him. So those are the three things that I wish that I would do differently if my twins were toddlers all over again. I would have stopped drowning in catastrophizing thoughts and just parent from presence and not fear. I would have stopped comparing them, and I would have follow and observe them and connect with them from an authentic level, not from the script that I read in a book. If this video helped you, will you share it with a friend? Share it with a toddler parent. Share it with another toddler parent and let them know, hey, I think these three things would give us so much. It would help us so much parent our toddlers from connection and not fear. Just pause what you're doing, click the send button, share it with one friend, and let them know that they can parent their toddlers in a connected way. And remember that it only takes understanding of your children's needs to raise secure children. I'll see you next time. Bye.